Coach Anthony here. This video is for success-minded people, mind, body, and soul. And we're doing a perception is reality series, and I put up a question, and this is all the way up November 25th, and it's actually off a documentary that I watched. And what we talked about is what's worse, a person who deals cocaine or just the business of, sugar, right? The business, the mass business of sugar and the sales of sugar. It's about 1955, around that time where fats, we were, eating more fats, but they started to outlaw fats in our grocery store and saying that was what was making us sick. And then they started to have sugar, and they added sugar to almost everything that we eat. They even add sugar to meats and such, sugar to all different types of foods. And so in this documentary, this guy, he ends up going to he's eating vegan and vegetarian for the last 3 or 4 years, never really having sugar, only natural sugars from fruits and such. But not just from the foods that we have sugars from, because when you look in the grocery store, 80% of the grocery store is filled with sugar. So stuff that you don't think it has sugar in it, and you're buying it, for sure it has some sort of sugar in it. Or if you're not checking your label, if you check your label, it's going to have anywhere between 2 grams. Some of this stuff's going to have 39 grams of sugar. And so what he did is he ended up doing, getting on the sugar for 60 days just to see what it would do, because he hears a lot of hype about it, and there's people saying that you get heart disease from sugar, that you can get cancer from sugar and such. So he just wanted to kind of see what would happen to his body in 60 days. Well, in 60 days, he ended up gaining 12 pounds. Which is a lot of weight in 60 days. But then also, too, it was the visceral fat that he was gaining. Visceral fat meaning around the liver, the heart, the kidneys, which is very, very critical, where you can have somebody that looks like they're in shape, or they look like, maybe you see someone that's a skinny fat, and they're looking at someone that they may see we look at people that maybe be heavier or obese, and we go, oh my gosh, they're one breath away, not really understanding that person that with maybe that smaller waist, and may not weigh that much weight, and they're just kind of under the radar. They don't understand that they're actually a breath away from having a heart attack, from dying from heart failure, from having diabetes, from all these different types of diseases that manifest from the sugar. Well, it turns out that this guy's, his LDL levels went out the roof. He went into a lot of it went into his blood testing, where he was before, when he wasn't taking the sugar, he was fine and normal, actually above average. But it turned out in the 60 days that he was doing sugar, at least 40 grams a day of the sugar, it turns out that he was having definitely on his way towards heart disease already in 60 days. So my take on it is that sugar is worse than cocaine. Okay, and it's worse than, really almost any other drug that we could think of, because the fact of the matter is that we're addicted to sugar. I'm not saying you, maybe you are, maybe you're not. I know that I have been, and I know that I still have, problems with this situation. But what if there was a Sugars Anonymous, right? I mean, I don't think it's really far-fetched that maybe, 10 or 15 years from now, maybe even 5 years from now, someone will come up with this and start to put a stop to this for people that are addicted to sugar. And if you think about it with you, what I want you to do is comment below. Are you eating sugar on a daily basis? And if you are you addicted, or are you not? Where do you think you are on this totem pole? Because what I would like for you to do is, I suggest that you start to research, because your knowledge is the best knowledge. Start to research on this. Start to watch documentaries on this, and start to educate yourself on the sugar, because it's all over the place. And if you don't start to educate yourself on it, you will be educated by it. And the education that sugar will do for you is it will put you in a hospital bed at some point, much sooner than what is expected. Will give you heart disease, will give you cancer. Also, too, the sugar will lead to, definitely depression, anxiety, stress, achy bones. There's really no plus in the sugar other than the elevation and the high that it gives you when it hits your taste buds. But that small worth doesn't show the devastation that it gives you. So, this is Coach Anthony here. Hope that helped, and I hope that you will be looking out for your sugar intake.